But from here, we're going to move on to night 16, and we're going to Mel's pick of Tam Nakano taking on Risa Sera.
Oh yes, and as I mentioned earlier with Suzu Suzuki and Risa Sera, you know, I at the first half of the tournament, I really wasn't sure, particularly about Risa Sera and kind of where she was, who she was. The look of her certainly doesn't always act, or sorry, it doesn't reflect the person that she portrays in the ring. But I think that the last couple shows that we're starting to see the connection there. This match against Nakano, she also had a match, I think it's later on, against I'm not sure. She already had it against Mai Sakurai. You know,
that one was really good.
Yeah, she's coming out of her shell a little bit more. I think she's getting more comfortable performing in the Stardom show and with the Stardom women.
Yeah.
But then you have Tam Nakano, and she is just an absolute veteran in that business, the leader of the Cosmic Angels. Start off this match a little bit in, there was a cutter by Tam on Risa on the outside that looked absolutely nasty. I believe it actually went from the ring apron to the complete outside.
Yeah,
there.
I'm just looking for that right now. I remember that spot.
Yeah, like Risa ate all of that.
Yeah, just some of that. And then, dude, I think she Cesaro spun her right into the chairs.
She did,
Risa Sera did. Like, oh my god! And she did it a couple nights before, and I was just cringing because I was watching. I think it was Damage for Sakura, and I was she just
missed the chairs.
Like
missed them.
Fraction of an inch. Like, oh my. Oh, I was scared for these girls, man.
I mean, does that speak to the control of Risa Sera, or just the plain out luck that she has going into that?
I think it speaks to the recklessness of what, not saying this girl's reckless, but the reckless abandon that she has because she wrestles in death matches and things like that. I think that's the recklessness that she's just willing to pick somebody and start spinning them in the middle of nowhere. Like that's.
She does have a faster spin than Cesaro, I think.
Yeah, but Cesaro's he can maintain for far longer. But
that's true
to that point. But it was just he goes for time, not speed. But just you look at that and you go think about what her head is like, going and regularly doing death matches. What's she gonna do to just a girl and a woman in a regular match?
That being said, Tam Nakano is no pushover. We have seen her in matches that are pushing the, I wouldn't say hardcore kind of thing, but we've seen her in cage matches, and those are pretty vicious. I noticed after, I don't know what it was that quite happened, but I did notice that Tam kind of hurt her back somewhere in the outside exchange there. So when they did get back into the ring, she did try to pull off another cutter on Risa. However, she was too hurt to actually follow through. So Risa was able to reverse it and actually fed her into a side body slam. I felt that the whole kind of transition there was really good. Another one of those imperfectly perfect things where it just kind of flowed very easily, and it just made sense again because Nakano was already injured.
Because she hit the cutter. She went for the cutter, and then Risa ended up picking her up and hitting her with an air raid crash.
Oh, okay. See,
shades of Kazuchika Kata right there.
Rainmaker. Then also I had that Tam also did a really nasty looking second rope German there on Risa.
Oh, that look! And Risa looked like she landed on her head. Like again, like these girls are landing so high up, and just it looked like she landed on her head, and I'm just like, oh, like
why though?
Yeah, I usually only go when I'm watching an evil match because I just can't stand it. But when I see these girls land on their head, I'm like, oh.
And then I also had Risa follows up an attitude adjustment, which Tam reverses into a package pile driver, which I believe was the end of the match, wasn't it? Very close to the end.
No, it was close to the end. I don't know if it was a package pile. It looked more like like the Mick Foley Mankind pile driver, where he just kind of like grabs
quickly
him, just like
got it in there,
just like lifts and sits, and it just again one of those spots where I always found like one of the most effective pile drivers I've ever seen in my life was Mick Foley's, and the way she did it was a very Mick Foley-esque style pile driver. But it was just
the combination between the hardcore and deathmatch there, right? Maybe she was inspired.
No, but the fact that Tom did that to a deathmatch girl, it's just like, wow, okay, I'm impressed. I'm very much impressed.
And Tam picking up that win over Risa, but it wasn't an easy fight. Both of these women came out pretty banged up after this one, and I think we even saw Tam on the next night really showing the signs of this battle.
Yeah, I noticed that she seemed a little bit slower the following night, or it was literally the following night, and you could see her like wincing early on in her match in night 17. So it's just some of the crazy stuff they're doing. But like Risa going for that area crash at the end, and Tam reversing and just reversing it into a leg clutch roll up to get the win. It was just an impressive like out of nowhere victory, which was I very much enjoy seeing those every now and again.
So from here, Andre, what was your pick?
My pick was one of my favorites. She's become like one of my favorites of all time women wrestlers. It is Julia taking on Amy Saray. This is the second time Amy Saray's hit our thing today. I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
So again, been very impressed by both these women. But like Julia, again, I like since watching the first match I've watched her in this summer, I've just been a huge fan of Julia, and to watch these two just have a very, very it was a strike heavy match with some good wrestling involved, but like I can't say enough good about both these women. Just like Julia just working over Amy's arm, because her finishers are an octopus stretch where she also ties the arm up. She has the ring, a variation of the rings of Saturn, and an armbar. She all uses as submission finishes. It's just, I love seeing the limb targeting for a lot of these girls who have specific submission finishers, but both. At one point, they're just both standing in the ring and just smashing forearms into each other. And it went on for a good like minute. And I'm just like, I was just impressed by the amount of power they were putting behind those forearms. And then just Julia going for I think it was a Viper clutch. I can't remember the actual technical name, but it's an octopus hold. And Amy's just struggling, and then we're in it for a good bit, and Amy just slowly moving and just barely gets the ropes. It's just perfect, like from underneath trying to stay alive. But towards the end of the match, Amy Saray gets a huge big blue thunder bomb, and then it only gets a 2 out of it, so picks her up, hits a spinning brain buster, only gets a 2. So Amy picks her up, gets her on her shoulders, goes for almost like an ape shit or something like that. If you know anything of Tongaloa, I almost said Tonga, sorry. And reverser brings her down into like with a crucifix, but then transitions into rings of Saturn and just pulls back on the head and gets a submission victory with actually the ring Saturn. She calls it the Bianca, and gets the finish. I was so impressed by both these ladies with just the amount of power and they're hitting each other with, and then the technical side to some of the stuff they were doing was just impressive.
I have to agree. I don't actually have a whole lot to add on because you pretty much summed up a lot of the notes that I have a
lot of notes.
No, that's good because that means we had the same kind of opinion overall. I did just note that Ami did her absolute best to outmuscle Julia, and I felt that this was a battle for almost. I don't want to say dominance, but I do want to say it was a battle for her to be like, I can kind of like for Ami to stand in the ring against Julia and be able to handle herself. I think she more than proved it in this match.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Just to stand up, because like Julia, with how she's a leader of Donna Del Mondo, she's become again, only been in the business, as far as I can tell, for about 4 or 5 years now. But she's become one of the top end people, and for Amy to really stand toe to toe with her was huge.